Grab your MyView Literacy book 1.3 and open it to page 140 and 141. This is a poem called Stories Tell Us About. I'll read the poem. You follow along. Stories tell us about a place we haven't traveled before, all of the people who live shore to shore, an event from the past that might affect me, and what we suppose the future could be. I'm going to read it again. Follow along. Listen for rhyming words and rhythm. A place we haven't traveled before, all of the people who live shore to shore, an event from the past that might affect me, and what we suppose the future could be. Did you hear any rhyming words? I did. Before and shore. Did you hear any other rhyming words? What were they? Right. Me and be. Our weekly question is, how can stories help us learn lessons? Your turn. Think about a story you have read. Draw something new you learned from the story. One story I read was How to Make a Mask. We read that a long time ago. Something I learned from that story was the steps to make a mask. So I'm going to draw a mask. It was a circle. It told us to put holes in for the eyes and the mouth. And then they drew a picture on it that kind of looked like a butterfly. Then I'm going to label it. I'm going to draw an arrow and write mask. Did you think about the same story? What story did you think about? Awesome! Let's go on to the next page. Turn in your books to page 152 and 153. Fables. My learning goal, I can read traditional stories. Spotlight on genre. Our genre is fable. A fable sometimes has animal characters that talk and act like people. Remember the story we read about the ant and the grasshopper? They were animals, but they acted like people. How do these characters act like people? So remember the ant worked all day long? Do you remember what the grasshopper did? Right, he played a fiddle all day long. Let's go down to this box. Be a fluent reader. Fluent readers read at an appropriate rate. That means they do not read too fast or too slow. After you read this week's text, practice reading fluently with a partner. Let's look at our anchor chart. Fable anchor chart. Describe characters. What they do, how they feel, what they say, the reasons for their actions. So take a look at these pictures. We have a farm mouse and a city mouse. The farm mouse is hoeing. He looks happy. I don't know what he says. We don't have any words. But maybe the reason he's happy is because he enjoys farming. Then we have the city mouse. He's wearing a hat and a top coat. He has a cane. He looks happy. He's smiling. We don't have any words, but maybe he's happy because he likes to, maybe he's dancing. Maybe he likes to dance. I'm going to read you another fable. Listen along. Think about what the characters do, how they feel, what they say, and the reasons for their actions as I read. The Goose and the Golden Egg. Long ago there was a poor man who owned a small farm. He had just one animal, a goose. The farmer visited the goose one day and found something wonderful. The goose had laid a shiny golden egg. "My sweet goose, may I have your golden egg?" the farmer asked kindly. "What's mine is yours," the goose said with a warm smile. The farmer collected the egg and took it to the market to sell. He was able to feed his family for a whole week with the money. Each day the goose would lay a new golden egg and happily give the egg to the farmer. But the farmer began to think, "There are so many things to buy. Why can't I buy them faster?" "One golden egg a day is not enough," he shouted at the goose. "I need to sell more, more, more. Tomorrow I want to see 2 golden eggs. No, 3 eggs. No, 4. The goose looked at him with tears in her eyes, but he did not find 4 golden eggs the next day, or 3, or 2, or even 1. He found nothing. The goose was gone, and the farmer would never have a golden egg again. The moral of this story is be happy with what you have. So let's think about this. I read about the moral of the story. Morals teach important lessons. Fables tell morals, so I know this story is a fable. Another way I know it's a fable is because one of the characters is a talking animal. It was the goose. Let's think about our characters. First, let's think about the farmer. What did the farmer do? Right, he collected eggs from the golden goose. Was he happy about the eggs? He was at first, but then he got greedy. He wanted more and more eggs. What did the farmer say to the goose? He told her she had to lay more and more eggs. Why did he do that? Because he wanted to be rich and buy more things. Now let's think about the goose. What did the goose do? She laid a golden egg. How did she feel at the beginning? She felt happy. She told the farmer, "What's mine is yours." That's what she said. How did she feel at the end? She felt sad. It said the goose looked at him with tears in her eyes. She didn't say anything then. What happened next? The goose ran away. Why did she do that? What was the reason for her action? What do you think? Maybe she ran away because the farmer wasn't being nice to her anymore. Go ahead and turn the page. We'll think about all of these ways to describe characters as we read our story. The cow and the tiger. As we read, we need to find the most important ideas, look for details to help you describe and visualize the setting and events, ask questions during reading to understand the text, and talk about the moral of the text. The cow and the tiger. Once there was a cow named Bala. She had a beautiful calf. Bala liked to graze in the shadowy forest and then feed her calf. One day, Bala went to the forest. An angry tiger caught her. Sad, Bala cried, "Please don't eat me. Let me go feed my calf." What can you visualize about the forest? Highlight the details that help you. So visualize means picture in your head. What can you picture about the forest? I'm going to look over here at this word, shadowy forest. That makes me think the forest is probably dark. If you have a highlighter, go ahead and highlight that. If you don't have a highlighter, go ahead and underline it like I did. I can see in this picture that the forest looks shadowy too. When you're done, turn the page. Bala said, I promise to come back. I'll come back soon, then you can attack." Tiger agreed. Bala went back to her grassy home. She quickly fed her calf. Then she returned to the shadowy forest and looked for the tiger. Underline the words that describe where Bala lives. So where is Bala going to feed her cat? She's going to her grassy home. So I know her home is a grassy field. I can see that in the picture, but I can also underline the word grassy. What kind of character is Bala? Do you think she's a good person or a bad person? I think she's a good person because she kept her promise. She promised the tiger she would go back, and then it said that she did. She went back and looked for the tiger. Once you've underlined the word grassy, turn the page. Bala said, I promised that I'd come back. Tiger was surprised to see her. He was pleased that Bala kept her word. Tiger said, you promised that you'd come back. You told the truth. Now I won't attack. Underline why Tiger does not attack Bala. So why do you think that he didn't attack her? Right here it said you told the truth. So because Bala told the truth, the tiger didn't want to attack. On this page it says he was pleased. So because the tiger thought that Bala was a nice cow, he decided not to attack her. Underline the words pleased and you told the truth. Then, when you're finished, turn the page. Bala was very happy. She went back to her calf. Tiger was not mad anymore. He promised to protect Bala from other animals. The moral of the story is, always keep your promises. Always tell the truth. So because Bala kept her promise, the tiger liked her. He even promised not to attack her and to protect her and her calf from other animals that might hurt them. Go ahead and turn the page. Check for understanding. Write the answer to each question. You can look back at the text. What makes this text a fable? Do you remember when we talked about fables before? We said they had talking animals in them. Did this text have talking animals? Yeah, it did. What else does a fable need to have? Right, a lesson or moral. Did this fable have a moral? Right here. So I'm going to write this text is a fable. This text is a fable because it had a moral. This text is a fable because it had a moral. 2. Why does the author use the word cried? Let's go back and find that in the text. On page 157, it said, sad Bala cried, please don't eat me, let me go feed my calf. So why did the author use that word cried? Right, to show how Bala felt. She used cried to show how Bala, make sure you do a capital B, felt. Period. How do the characters' actions show the moral or lesson? Use text evidence. Do you remember what our moral was? Right, it was always tell the truth. So how does Bala's actions show the moral or the lesson? Right, because Bala told the truth. Bala told the truth. Once you finish this page, turn the page back and do fluency. Read pages 160 and 161 aloud with a partner to practice reading at an appropriate rate. So you're going to go back and reread these 2 pages with someone to practice reading at an appropriate rate. Then read the whole story at a good rate. This way you can practice fluency. On this page, you're going to read the clues, then use the words in the box to complete the word puzzle. These words are feeling words: sad, angry, happy, surprised. To fill in the blanks, you use these clues at the bottom. Across, number 1, so that's going to be this one. What does this face look like? Surprised. So that's what you would write in these blanks. 1 letter for each blank. S-U-R-P-R-I-S-E-D. Across, number 2, the smiley face. That's probably happy. So, 2 across, I would write happy. Then do the downs.